All right, so Chelsea Green as the U.S. champion is amazing. She's added to her wonderful cohort, which they're calling the Green Regime, which has connotations that I'm like, should you really be going there? But name aside, and it is kind of catchy at least. Um, it's very interesting because they teased earlier this year. They teased sort of like a falling out between Piper and Chelsea. Clearly, they've sort of decided to let that smooth over, brought in Fire, and to be perfectly honest, uh, Piper and Vega's match from Smackdown on Friday was really good. Had lots of like, which way is it going to go? And while the good money was on the end result of Piper, there was several things that I noticed that were very, very well done. First and foremost, it's not they're not playing the trope as straight as they could, or at least based on other times that we've done the sort of like champion as an authority figure or emulating the president of the United States kind of deal. It's not like that as much. I mean, obviously there is still that very sort of like Secret Service shtick that both of them, both Fire and Piper are using, but it is not so stoically, boss and underlings. It's a little more like a group, like a clique, or like Mean Girls or something like that. Like they're very much more like a thing. They're like Chelsea seemed very supportive, very willing. And one of the things I noticed a lot of was while at various points in time, both Chelsea and Fire cast distraction, and then eventually that would lead to the finish. It was very interesting how there was no contact. Because definitely in the WWS as of late, usually if you have other people around, they're using contact, not just distraction. Whether they're tripping somebody up, pulling somebody out, doing something to sustain. Maybe they're getting caught, maybe they're not getting caught. Obviously, we watched Braun win by disqualification earlier in the night. So there is that kind of thing. But as an interesting point, this wasn't this. This was pure only distraction, which, yeah, still heel. But, like, there is an undercurrent here, I think, of the three of them turning babyface under the right conditions. Now, those conditions don't necessarily exist right now. They do sort of need somebody to turn against, in a way, or they need to get sort of paired against a faction or something and have it not so much a double turn necessarily, but like, let's face it, I talked earlier about the women's division being a little murky when it comes to who's face and who's heel right now. Because generally, like, there are some fairly defined people, and then there's a bunch of gray area of like, okay, where exactly are these people sitting? And sometimes the only time that that's really clear is when you see them across from someone. Chelsea Green, Piper, and Fire do not sit across from anyone at the moment. Like, they don't, sit quite like across in a way that's like, that's a heel, that's a face kind of thing. They sit in a thing there. And there is this undercurrent in the WWE universe that seems to be, that sort of likes Chelsea Green and her little group. Like, they may not be as vocal as they would be if they were face, but I really think that they're people that really enjoy them. I enjoy them immensely. I really think they're a great group. I also have that wonderful thing where I'm sitting there and going, you do know that none of them are American, right? Like Chelsea's Canadian. She's from Victoria, which is, a hop, skip, and jump from where I'm from, Vancouver. Um, Fire's from Ireland, I believe. And obviously Piper's from Scotland. That means there's no Americans in the group, which certainly makes it interesting of directions it could go in necessarily some form of opposition. Especially if WWE, who have, not been completely immune to the idea of taking a real world issue and making it into a freaking storyline, for better or for worse. So, I don't know. It could be interesting. I look forward to their matches. And if they continue with this sort of not quite as heely as they could be, I think they will continue to be over. Anyways, have a nice day.